There was nothing about it that was enjoying to me, like joyful or anything. Like, I didn't understand why moms have a bond with their baby, because it was making me, let me put this out there, I feel like a mama needs to hear this.
I don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me.
I'm gonna be sharing it with you guys proudly, confidently. Now my baby is exclusively formula fed. I am very confident in that and very happy with that decision, but it doesn't mean that breastfeeding's bad. Breastfeeding's amazing. That's why I did it. But also I want to make it known, are you happy? Are you growing? At the end of the day, you don't look and be like, I was formula fed, my husband was formula fed, and then Billy Bob Joe down the street was breastfed for a year and a half, and Billy Bob Joe down the street is better. I don't know. But I do know, whatever, I'm gonna get it. I'm literally sweating right now because of, like, I don't know why. I just think people are so opinionated, especially moms. Like, for me, having a pacifier in my baby's mouth, probably the way my baby's hiccuping. I love sharing, like, the good, the bad, like, just my honest how things go, which is vulnerability, which then obviously opens you up for scrutiny. I don't have to share how I choose to feed my baby, but I want to, because I know it's helpful, and I know how stressful we make ourselves as moms, and the way society has made this be like a battle of formula and breastfeeding versus not. Some people are either like one end, like, why would you breastfeed, and then other people are like, why would you not breastfeed, or like, horrible. But where did I'm in like defense fighter mode. I feel like I always am. Ugh. Okay, I feel better now. It wasn't even hot in our house temperature wise. I think it was a mix of just like mom hater, troll, shamer, under a bridge people, and that our curtains were open, so it was letting a lot of hot, I don't know what it was, but I was sweating. I will start like timeline wise. So actually, let's push it back a second to when I was pregnant. I had a beautiful pregnancy. Like, it was amazing. Having a good pregnancy is just as valid as having a bad pregnancy. Same with breastfeeding, pumping, formula journeys. So naturally, like, I had this like magical sense of motherhood as I was pregnant, and I thought that would naturally just like transfer into breastfeeding. I wanted to give breastfeeding everything because I thought that I would be the person that's like so in love and enthralled, I don't even know if that's a word, but just so in love with breastfeeding, like the connection was gonna bring me my child. I looked up some things about breastfeeding while I was pregnant at the end of my pregnancy, but I realized, you know, every baby is different, every nipple is different, and I won't know until I have my baby to practice with and to learn from, and we'll learn together and it'll be great. So in the hospital, lactation consultant came in to help me just latch and stuff, and he hadn't eaten. He wasn't wanting to latch when she was in there, of course. So she said he really needs to eat, and gave me, I remember this moment so clearly, that's why I need to share it. She said, are you okay with him having formula? And I said, yeah, I mean, I didn't want to, but I knew my baby needed to eat. So I said yes, and she explained the 3 different options and asked me which one I wanted. I'm like, I don't know. I know nothing about formula. I don't know different, like, I know nothing. As soon as she left the room, she was gonna go get it, I just started sobbing, like all the tears. And Grant's like, Alyssa, are you okay? And I just felt so defeated. I felt so crushed. I remember that moment so specifically. I was mad. I was mad at myself and mad at my body. I was like, why can't I do it? And that's what I told Grant. I said, I was crying. I was like, I'm just so mad that my body can't do it. Why can't my body do it? I'm mad. And I was like so just mad at myself and like let down. Anyways, we didn't end up having to use it. He ended up latching fine. She gave me one more shot and he latched great for like 45 minutes. At nighttime, we would do a bottle of breast milk. My nipples got cracked, blistered up, and blood blisters even. I'm not saying that's gonna happen to you, but it very well could. For the first month solid, it hurt so bad. I mean, I had like such bad blisters, but I would like squeeze my toes, hold onto a blanket, like, ugh, it would be so much pain. And I breastfed for a month and a half. Well, so Weston had weight issues the first like month and a half, or first solid month of his life. He kept going back to the doctors for weight issues. And what we came to find out is my flow, I'm out of the terminology for breastfeeding now, but my letdown, it was very like full force, and the lactation consultant explained it like as if you were turning on like a hose nozzle, and it's just like spitting out milk. It's not like this like good like trickle. So at first it would just be like spraying. So imagine just getting shot in the mouth. Barrett, settle down, buddy. Barrett, no. Nope. If you need to get up there, okay, come through. We just had a horse crossing. Yes, we did. We had to wait for the horse to cross. Okay, so I was spraying like a full-fledged fire truck hose. And that was just too much where like he would spit it up. So it would have been better if I would have pumped a little bit to the start just to get that big letdown and then latch him, and then he would have been good. He was just spitting up like way too much of my breast milk, therefore it wasn't making him full and he wasn't gaining weight properly. He always would eat off the boob, but maybe like every third day or something he would have a bottle of my milk. So I consider that exclusively breastfeeding, but maybe it's not. I don't know. The first week you're in more pain than normal just because your nipples haven't ever breastfed before. So they just have to get like calloused over almost. After the first week, the main struggles of pain of breastfeeding were done, and I heard just make it through the first week, make it through the first 2 weeks. And then I was starting to hear make it through the first 3 months, and then it will be enjoyable and you'll have the bond. I was asked if it was uncomfortable or weird ever for me to breastfeed my baby to start, and no, it never was. I think breastfeeding is beautiful. I think it is a wonderful thing. Our bodies perfectly are created and made to supply to our baby and to create life from start in our bellies to after we can feed our children, and that's like beautiful. It is so cool. And as he was on my boob, I never once thought it was weird, and I still to this day don't. I think it's wonderful. Breast milk is full of so much goodness for the babies. After week 1, definitely that crazy pain was over. And then week 2, after week 2, it definitely was over. Week 3 and week 4 were great. There was no pain. It was great in terms of that, but I just didn't enjoy it. I was dreading every single feeding session, and when you're breastfeeding, you go by like a clock or just like all the stinking time. You are for your baby's source of food, and that is wonderful. But also, if I'm dreading it, that means I'm dreading like every single freaking second, and my baby I'm associating with dreading, and that's not good. If you're dreading it like I was, which is so valid and so okay, then you're almost in a way associating your baby, your beautiful baby, with dread. Your baby's relationship that you have been waiting all this time for with the dread. And already postpartum is hard. Already you have emotions like crazy. You have expectations you thought you were gonna reach that you don't, and people that are doing it this way, or people you were pregnant with at the same time that are still doing it or doing it better, or whatever, more natural, the better way. At the 4-month appointment, he was losing more weight. I thought they were gonna say go on formula, and I wasn't gonna listen to them because I wasn't interested in formula at the time. They said pump for a week, all the feedings for a week, so we can see how many ounces he's getting in him, and we can see if his body is holding it down, and then how his weight growth has gone. Okay, nap done, fed done. I need to get this video done. I'm like halfway through filming it. What a crazy day. I asked the doctor if I would still be able to do 1 breastfeeding session like a day, which as a first-time mom, I didn't understand. The doctors will give you their orders of what they went to school for and what their education is for, but at the end of the day, you are the parent and you can do what with your child. That was a bunch of milk flowing you just caught. Walk. No, no. I just started my period for the first time too, so. First time in 405 days. Barrett, get back. I could like squeeze your face off right now. Typically I would kiss it off. Right now I could squeeze it off. Run along. They did tell me that I could do a breastfeeding session, so within that week where they wanted me to strictly pump, bottle feed him and see if his weight would adjust, I still did one breastfeeding session there, and then so that would mark the 5th week of life. And then they wanted me to keep continuing to do it after that. So I did it again, and that marks 6 weeks. So if this makes sense, the first 4 weeks of his life, I exclusively breastfed. The next 2 weeks, so marking the 5th and 6th week, I did a combination. After that, I realized at that 6 week mark, I realized not that I was giving up, but that I didn't enjoy it. Even the one session I did, I was just doing it just to do it, but I didn't enjoy it. I was loving pumping. I love that I could still give, it was like a in between. I could still give my baby the breast milk that I wanted my baby to grow off of, but I didn't have to go through with that. Like, I just didn't enjoy it, and that's fine. Breastfeeding and stuff and pumping, even, it makes when visitors are over hard. But then for the next full 6 weeks, again, I exclusively pumped for the next 6 weeks. And then finally at the 3-month mark, I was like, you know, I'm interested in formula finally. And people are asking why I went to formula and how that came about. So I will explain my pumping story now to you guys. Pumping, I really was enjoying. But then it came, like, it's again, you have to pump every 2 to 3 hours. I was doing every 2. And it's for a long extended period of time, because you can't mess up your milk supply. You still are very much feeding your child, and honestly, it's a lot of work. You're still you're still lactating at this hour. Then you have to have it timed. You have to clean your bottles then every single time, and then you have to feed your baby, and then it's like time to do it all over again. So for that amount of time, I was just on that routine. So all the freaking time, my body was just given away, which is fine. I wanted to. I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't even talked about. I was so excited to do a video about it, such a positive video, because I loved it so much. So if that's something you want to try it. And my baby got breast milk, but then what changed my mind to switch over, the pump I have sucks. Don't get the Motif pump if you're pregnant. Like, try not to get that. You only can use it when it's plugged into the wall, so you can't use it on the go ever. And I didn't realize, like, I was just so used to that, I didn't realize, but my sister-in-law has a pump where it's like battery operated or something. Like, she can be like hours away from home and then pump in the car, or like not be plugged into a wall. And I was like, when I heard that, I was like, that's game changer. So if my pump would have that function, I would have pumped for longer. I definitely know I would have, but it was getting to the end of quarantine here where I live in Ohio, and things were starting to open up, and I was ready to have my body back as just Alyssa, and I was ready to be able to go to a place a couple hours away and hang out with friends and stuff, and just live a life and take Weston somewhere, and not be worried about plugging into a wall every 2 hours. So that honestly was like the main thing. Someone was going through some breastfeeding times, and I was talking with her, and I was giving her my personal advice, and my advice that I give to people so freely, I don't always take and do. And I realized that I was telling her, she brought up formula, and I was telling her, formula is great. Formula feeds your baby. Formula isn't a bad thing. It's awesome. If that's what's gonna make you be the best mom you can be, make you not in pain, make you enjoy your baby, enjoy life, enjoy the beautiful moment you've always waited for, if that's what's gonna do it, then do it. Get on formula. Or try pumping. Like, try that. Like, that worked great for me, whatever. And I was telling her, like, voice noting to her, like, all these things. And guys, wanting to provide your baby with all the best things in the world, whether that's them getting into a car, whether that's them eating correctly, whether that's solids, formula, breastfeeding, like there's all this stuff that the correct toys to give your kids, like the correct clothes to put them in, the correct laundry detergent, like there's so much. You just want to do the best, and especially as like very first postpartum, you've had all these hormones for 9 months, and you go crazy, and it makes you so sad and so confused. You just want to do the best for your baby. So hearing the hurt in moms' hearts when they're like just torn and they feel like they're not doing the best because of the way society puts things onto moms, it's sick and it's sad and it's unneeded. It's honestly so unneeded. I was telling her so much of that I was like, what? Like, I need to tell myself that. Like, I forgot about formula. I literally forgot about it, and I needed to hear that myself. So like, that was the huge milestone. That is what the turning was. And that very day I went from, wait, I need to think about formula. Wait, I want to start getting into formula. I'm going to ask Grant. I asked Grant. Grant's always, it's your body, whatever you want to do. You're the one feeding your child. Whatever you want to do, I fully support. I trust you. And so then that was that, and then I was like, okay, I'll start in like a week or like a couple weeks or a month. And then no, that night I was like, okay, I'm ready to start weaning myself, weaning Weston onto it, trying different formulas, whatever. And my supply was kind of like starting to drop anyways. So when I switched over, it wasn't hard for me at all. I thought it was gonna be like a month of switching over and like slowly dropping down. It literally took days for me. Like within a full week, like I wasn't lactating anymore for sure. But it went so much faster that I was like, holy crap, Grant, like I'm running through our milk supply in the freezer, and I'm just like blowing through it all, that we need to get formula now because we obviously need to feed our child. I started off 25, and I don't think you even have to do it this way, but I did 25% formula, 75% breast milk, and then I would do 50, like I did that for a couple of days, and then I did 50%, 50%, and then 75, 25, and then finally he had his first 100% formula bottle before night. Come on, bud. And then he was on formula, and it was great. The 3-month mark when I switched to formula is also when my connection, my bond with my baby started. So women have bonds breastfeeding their baby, which is beautiful and wonderful, but that's not the same for all. Some people are the opposite. Breastfeeding their child has a lack of a bond, and when they're done, then their bond and their motherhood can begin. So immediately he took it so well, the 25%, and then when we moved up to 50-50, and I just moved up when I could tell, like, okay, he wasn't fighting it, which he never fought it. And my pediatrician, I'm literally itching my butt right now. My pediatrician even said I didn't need to do the 25, 75, 50, 50. I just did it because it made me feel like good about myself, but she said I could have just went straight into it. And honestly, the way my son took it, I think I could have went straight into it. But I was trying to use up my milk and whatever. I did use up most of my milk supply. I still have some in the freezer, and I'm gonna use it for if he ever gets a cold or anything like that, just because the immunities that are still in it. I don't know if that's like common or normal, but a mom local told me about it. I saw that she had a frozen bag for her daughter, and is like an older baby, and I was like, you're still pumping, you're still breastfeeding, like that's amazing. I told her right away, I just switched to formula, but like you go, like you're awesome. Because I haven't been trying to hide this, so I've been doing formula solid now for a month, and she said no, that she switched to formula as well, but she saved some of her milk bags for when her babies get sick, and I thought that was genius. So I don't know if that's common sense, but I wanted to share that. If people have a little bit of opinion on that, I actually would be kind of interested, because it kind of interests me. But as soon as she told me that, I'm like, whoa, girl, I need to slow down. I need to not waste all my milk, like going half and half, because he's doing great on formula. I need to save that milk for when my baby gets sick. So I still have some milk in there. And when I switched him onto formula, I was glad that he had 3 months of breast milk in him, where I think the most important thing is that they get the colostrum in the beginning, and if you go on formula right away, that's fine, it's okay. But I was glad that he had that. We only tried one kind of formula, and it was Similac Pro Advanced. That's what we still use, and if you don't use that, that's fine. Like, I know generic is actually very close to the same, I've been hearing from doctors. Something you excel in as a mom, someone else might fail, and vice versa, and it doesn't make you a bad mom because you didn't do the most ideal, amazing mom way, natural way for your baby. You're not a failure for not breastfeeding. He is thriving, he is growing, he is amazing, he is beautiful, and formula is awesome for us. I'm not saying it's what's awesome for you. I'm not saying it's what is the right way to do it. I'm just saying people want to know why I stopped breastfeeding, why I stopped exclusively pumping, and why I am on formula, and that is why. It's okay. Whatever you're doing is awesome. Your baby's fed, your baby's growing, your baby's healthy. That's all that matters. Something I do might be different than something you do in life and in momhood, and that's normal. We shouldn't all live the same. Sorry, this has literally been all over the place. So much defending of not really, maybe a little bit myself, but not just myself, but moms in general, and like the mom community or like the formula community. But I tried all the ways of feeding because I wanted to confidently, and who knows what my next baby holds, but all ways are fine. And I just really, maybe it's because I just got on my first period in 405 days, who knows what it is, but I just really wanted to share that with you guys in my heart, and I wanted to defend the way people can say you're doing it wrong as a mom, because my camera just shut off, so that means it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. Please watch all my other videos.
Everything is total.